Saludos, Corillo. Yo soy la Yuyu.
Y yo soy Hippo. Cacho, ¿nos damos la cacha?
Dale.
¡Diablo! Pues ok, mi gente, empezamos hoy con ¿qué tema? Wait, we were gonna do this in English. What? Fuck.
Oh shit, it's going English. Okay, we starting this
We're starting over, espérate.
Yo,
Está bien, no los pasa. Ya está
No,
perdido,
no.
no los pasa.
Exacto.
Ok, se corta aquí.
I know, I'm gonna put this shit on.
Está bien, porque se va a blue.
Welcome, guys, to our pilot. This is our very first little test video presenting you guys what we're gonna be talking about, stuff like that, anime, art, a
little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Kind of what we like, and so that you guys get to know us and what we do and what we like
love,
and
what
what we
love.
are. And all of
Plus,
that.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that we could definitely start it off by I don't know, maybe talking about some anime, since that's mainly
Alright.
what we mostly have in common, I think.
Especially because, of course, your friendly, lovable Hippo and I are cosplayers. That's how we met. This is how she came to be. So, suck it up, Buttercup.
So
How everything.
what would be your like top underrated anime?
Underrated? Think about it. How about you?
Think
you
about
do
it. In my opinion, one of my favorite underrated animes is a very slice of life, very romantic anime that's called Say I Love You.
Oh, wait. Which one is that one?
That's okay. Basically,
Give a small description for those who like genre. What
it's
kind
a
of genre?
slice of life romantic high school anime.
For those who like the lovey-dovey's and just want maybe a little bit of drama, but not to the extent of, punching the wall.
Exactly. If you like the whole, oh my god, they touched hands. It's not this. They do kiss by the second episode. It's one of those romance
It's one of
animes.
the-
We do see them get together. But basically, long story short, it's a high school about this one girl who gets bullied into not talking anymore, so she doesn't talk to anyone. And then obviously the regular trope, the most popular guy falls for her, and it's basically their whole love story.
Oh.
So I really recommend that anime if you are very into romantic anime. So go do that. You can watch it on Hulu or Crunchyroll. What about you?
Okay,
did
so
find that one? Okay.
yes, I went back to my childhood. I think I saw this series when I was like in maybe the 4th grade.
Okay.
Its name is Flame Kaiser. Okay, so
Okay, arroz con pollo. Give me a story short.
Puñeta. Diablo, cabrón.
Don't die.
Me reí, me subió, me bajó. So,
Don't die.
cabrón, this is what you wanted all this time. This is what it's gonna be, guys. So, Flame Kaiser. So, Flame Kaiser is a sports anime. It's actually about mountain bikes. It's similar to that classic,
Like that sport anime.
but it's about mountain bikes with these amazing powers. Each bike has like a badass power to do some crazy stunts, and it is quite educativo. It does teach you a few real
Educational?
tricks. Yeah, it shows you a few real tricks a lot of professional bikers do on these kind of machineries. And I remember watching that shit like every freaking Sunday, early morning.
Ah.
So it was one of those like after church shows I loved watching.
Dang.
So it was super cool and stuff. I do recommend Flame Kaiser, and it's like a fun anime just to
Where
watch,
could we
and
watch
it's
it?
really good for kids.
Where could we watch
Bro,
it?
I have no idea. I think you can check it out in Crunchyroll. If not, maybe YouTube.
YouTube's always a safe bet.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know, what was your favorite anime, or what was your first ever anime that you ever watched?
Oh, okay. First ever anime was actually a movie.
Oh, which
Studio
one?
Ghibli.
Oh.
Princess Mononoke. I know that a few of you have actually fallen in love with Studio Ghibli. Well, as an artist, amazing work of art. These people do watercolor for their backgrounds. That is some hours of dedication, detail, and just amazing work. All of the Studio Ghibli movies, films are amazing. It is both enjoyable for adults just as it is for children. Beautiful music also.
Oh.
You gotta admit.
Talking about music, and before that, my first ever anime, I'd have to say, I if I remember correctly, I think it was the first ever anime I saw ever was Naruto. Actually, like the first couple episodes. That was on Adult Swim. My brother had it on the TV. It was really really cool. But the first anime I ever like watched from start to finish had to be Soul Eater because my brother showed me.
I knew. I was surprised when you said like Naruto, but I'm like, ooh,
It was the first time. It was the first time I ever experienced anime with Naruto. But the first one I sat down and watched was Soul Eater.
I gotta admit, I remember those times where Naruto was an Adult Swim. I remember that I was stoked. That was when Naruto was coming out, guys. Like I was stoked.
It was release days.
I was stoked, and I watched. I think the first 2 episodes, and then by I don't know if it was the 3rd episode. My mom caught me watching Naruto, and it was a little gory. You know, the kunai knives were stabbing someone, and my mom's like, "No, you won't see that. No more violence." And I'm like, "But mom."
Oh,
so I never got to see Naruto until I was in like, I don't know, maybe
until
like
you were older.
Junior, yeah, way older.
Yeah.
Almost high school, I don't know.
We were talking about music. You talked about music. So, what would be your favorite anime intro? Because honestly, if I were to talk about my
Soul Eater is a banger.
yeah, that's exactly my favorite.
But
I like Resonance and Paper Moon. I like both of them. A lot of people hate on Resonance. I get it, but talk to the end.
For me,
They're
and
both good.
I'm gonna be real, and I learned these lyrics. Maybe not so quick, but Tokyo Ghoul.
That intro is too good. I really also enjoyed the Dragon Ball Daima intro. For some reason, it just always makes me tear up. And I wasn't like an avid Dragon Ball watcher as a kid. I watched it more now as an adult. But like, I don't know, it just always makes me tear up, that intro. So it has to go on my top 3, I'd say.
Oh my god, you know another banger? And
Another banger by Shake Top for my part.
Parasite.
I haven't seen Parasite.
That, bro, I'm gonna be real. Parasite is a anime that is, again, not for the faint of heart. There are some scenes where
Talking
I
about
cried.
about Parasite, what would be your favorite like anime meme? Or like your anime like favorite like GIF or something? Which one is it?
Fucking Pikachu. Okay. There's a scene where Pikachu, like, Meowth is drowning, but he doesn't drown, gets safe, and Pikachu, like, damn. Bro, Pikachu was like,
I think I've seen that one.
Honestly, está cabrón, fucking Pikachu, queriendo que este huele bicho se ahogue.
My favorite anime meme has to be the Mikus. The Mikus right now with like the Miku with her ponytails are her arms and her arms are her like ponytails. It's just fucking crazy. All the memes that like the Vocaloids are coming out with right now. Oh my god, dude, hilarious. Keep them coming. Please,
bro. Married 1,000 times by court law. Actually, there's I don't know how many thousand people.
Yeah, she's been divorced like a many a time.
Wait, she's been divorced.
Yeah.
Who will divorce Miku?
No, Miku was the one who divorced.
That's bullshit.
No, literally, there was like a whole thing between the Crunchyroll girl mascot
No.
and Miku. They were like official like for a really long time, and then like they broke up, and it was like a really long thing. You guys know what I'm talking about if you're in the Vocaloid scene and the Crunchyroll scene.
Who would
and
divorce?
But I think they were divorced. I don't
AI.
remember. I think they just broke up or something.
That's
I don't know what it was.
crazy.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Teach me in the comments if I was wrong.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and then to end this like little anime segment would be what would be your go-to anime recommendation?
My go-to anime recommendation to watch, Witchblade. It's one of my top favorite animes. Just because I love the design. It is an old anime. Ooh, wait. I don't got nails now.
Girl, I was holding it with my nails.
I got Sachi fingers. Manita de salchicha. But once I got nails, they look cute. But
Okay,
right now,
but you will. Look, the
I don't got
viewers
my
will see it.
nails.
The viewers will see it. The viewers will see it.
they could though.
No one's looking at your nails right now. Now finish the thingy. What's your go-to anime recommendation? My go-to, aside from the plain obvious, if you already follow me on Instagram, if you don't,
Soul
go do it. Soul Eater is my
Sour.
top. like go to. But more recently, I have to say, I'm recommending a lot, and I have been recommending a lot Castlevania.
Ooh, Castlevania. You can find that shit in Netflix.
Yeah, and a lot of people. Okay, I watched Nocturne. I haven't fully watched the original Castlevania. I am watching it, and I did watch it, but I firstly watched Nocturne, and a lot of people did not like Nocturne. Personally, as someone who saw it as a fresh story, I enjoyed it.
We're gonna be talking about Netflix then. Okay, if you said you asking about a anime recommendation.
Diablo.
And we're going on Netflix route. Honestly, Baggy. If you are Netflix, if you like fighting, if you like punching. Again, these is not for kids. It's a lot of gore, punch. It's a fighting anime.
This one, I would probably say it's like an 18 plus.
18 plus,
because it is pretty heavy.
It is pretty heavy.
But it's so good.
I love it. ¿Nos damos la cacha? Dale, damos la cacha. Cortamos. Hey, Hippo, also, do you got any tips to clean this shit?
I actually do have a few tips that you can use for cleaning out your pieces like this when they get dirty like that.
Okay, disgusting, huh?
You should clean them often, first of all, at least every. A lot of people do every use. I use my pieces twice a day, so I clean them every day. But you can clean them with equal parts of alcohol or salt, and you just have to shake it well, leave it for 8 hours, do it as many times as you may need, and then once you're done, you can rinse it off with warm to cold water, and you're finished.
Question:
Yes.
What type of salt do we gotta use?
Just your regular table salt. It
The
doesn't.
white one.
Just the white one. It has to be the one with the little umbrella girl on
Kosher
it.
salt.
Kosher salt. It
No
has to
pink
be-
salt, no
No.
Himalayan.
No.
Has to be
sea
the basic.
salt. It has to be your regular table salt. You put equal parts. You shake it very, very, very well. You can either seal it or you can't, or you don't have to. But you leave it for 8+ hours. You can do as many times as needed, but you will rinse, and then you're done. Boom, clean. You can just reuse, repurpose. But I recently found another way that you can actually use Dawn Power Wash with some hot water and some scrubbing with your pipe cleaners. Obviously, you will take a little bit longer, but it does work. It does work pretty well. So if you don't have your alcohol or vinegar, you can just get some Dawn Power Wash and clean that off. If it does clean ducts, why can't it clean the oil from your pipes?
True shit.
That's what I have to say. What do you think would be the appropriate water level to your pieces, like a piece like that?
I have no idea.
You really don't?
No.
Well, alright. If you guys didn't know, there's a little tube. Usually it's all called a slide or a down stem. There's very
I know it's dirty. We're gonna be showing you
this piece right
Yeah,
here.
look at that disgusting thing.
We'll show you next episode once it's clean. But this
We'll have
piece
some
right
before and
here is
after.
usually called a down stem or a slide. It also has other names, but that's mostly what they're called as. That right there usually has 2 little divots at the bottom, where what that means is that's your airflow. So you just have to cover that little up with water and you pull, because you just need it to bubble. You can't overfill it. If not, you will just get water in your mouth, and you don't want that gross bong water in your mouth. Exactly. So is there any other questions that you may have?
Oh, as a beginner piece user, do we use a small one, a medium one, or a large one? Because there are different sizes, and you don't want to be going cray-cray on your first day.
It always depends on what you are using, and as well as what you have on hand. You can start off by using a big piece if you want to go through that. I'm
No.
not saying you don't have to. Personally, I recommend starting off with actually just taking a puff from a joint and slowly build up from there. Go
Mario,
one hitter.
permiso, ¿me puedes pasar mis dos piecitas? In this case, I use a little thingamajigger because I'm a baby on the bongs.
So if you want to start, I would recommend like just slowly growing your tolerance until you can get something bigger. But I am not gonna lie to you, one of my first bongs was pretty big. One of my first like pieces was pretty big. But I was already like I had been consuming gardening for a while already. So personally, I always recommend starting small because it just helps you like slowly gain your confidence into going into something bigger. But it also depends on what material you're using, because if you are using something like wax or like something that's a little bit more potent and that you have to use in a different way, then it is actually better to use smaller pieces, because that way you don't like strain your lung and then you do more damage than good just to use whatever you're trying to garden with.
As an artiste, I love cooking, and believe it or not, you can also use your lettuce, your magic lettuce, on these dishes if you are not a piece user. Believe it or not, guys, there are many other ways that
You
maybe
can
in the
consume.
future
That you can
I will
consume.
do a small little list of what you can add it to. Something desserts, a lot of desserts, handy
drinks. There's a bunch of different things that you can try.
if you're not a piece user. So
Or if you just don't want to consume smoke. If you don't want
Exactly.
to like you do that, but you are still interested in the effects, there are other ways to do it that don't give you long-term effects. Obviously, this just depends on preference, because a lot of people just prefer to like garden in different ways. But personally, like for me, I prefer enjoying like consuming with smoke, but a lot of people don't. So it just kind of depends on what you like. So I always recommend trying out different ways if you can, if it is to your approach, and obviously if you have your license and you're of age.
Yes, always consume responsibly, guys.
How was your first time, like talking about what we were talking about, how was your first time ever gardening? Because mine's crazy. We'll leave mine for last. Mine's crazy.
Well, mine was actually not in a piece. It was in a magical leaf of sorts.
It was rolled.
Rolled. There you
It
go.
was rolled.
It was magically rolled into a little ice cream roll, which will probably show a few recommendations also from time to time if you're bored and want to try new shit, you know.
Or if you're interested in knowing what we use when we garden.
Yeah.
First time.
It was a first. It was a first. I was thinking, sir, I hope I do not like swallow wrong, because I've seen on the TV the and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be seen as a lame person. I want to be like the cool guy. I can take this, you know, kind of stuff.
Like I can do this.
I did not. I coughed for hours.
Dang.
I was drinking and drinking, and it hit me so hard that once we were going back home, I was not the one driving per se. There were two people, friends in front. I was in the back, and we were by a part of Puerto Rico where there's not much light. It's more road next to the beach. So it was just straight down to a tunnel of darkness, and out of nowhere, we were talking about Star Wars, and they were like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I was so fucked up. I was in the back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it was so dark. I only saw like a dark hole. There was no end to it. I'm like, shit's dark.
Like, okay.
Shit's dark, man.
You just accepted your fate.
I was in the Star Wars movies. At that point, I was waiting for my R2D2 kind of shit.
And you were waiting for your droid?
Huh?
You were waiting for your droid?
Fuck yeah, dude. I love Star Wars.
Well, my first time, it was a little bit crazy. We mixed like all three like regular controlled substances. Like, what is your alcohol? What is your nicotine? And obviously we gardened. We had started with drinking. We were drinking some thing that my best friend had made. It was some crazy, everything but the sink thing. It was sweet as heck. I personally didn't enjoy it that much, but it was what we had, so I was drinking it. And then after a while, we went in my old car that was not in the optimal conditions.
It was almost It was barely
bad.
surviving. It was barely
It was bad.
surviving,
It
bro.
was bad. But we went to the gas station.
I missed
We
that
got
bitch.
we got some cigarettes, and then we went to this place pretty far. And we found someone to get us some like garden stuff, some herbs, and then we went back to the house, and my friend rolled it, and we consumed and whatever. I was sitting on the kitchen counter, right? And then as soon as I like leaned back, just the walls and everything just suddenly out of nowhere just go boom. And I'm not even kidding. It just starts moving. It just starts moving. And then of course I start emptying out my stomach all over on the kitchen.
Oh.
And then I went over to the bathroom. We were all like that. It was not just me. It was my first time ever consuming. It was my friend, her friend, me, and our guy friend who was with us, who was the one who rolled it. And he was the one like in the bathroom from the top and from the bottom. Another friend of ours was hit with like a towel, and then she got sober and went to bed. And then the other friend of ours was like having a panic attack and also like emptying out her stomach. It was crazy. It was like a very long night. And then out of nowhere, it was like 6 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I was like on the floor next to the kitchen counter like this, like leaning on the cabinets, asleep. And then my best friend goes to wake me up because I had to work at 9 in the morning next day. And she wakes me up. She's like, "People, wake up, move to the bed. Don't worry, I'll clean it." And I just wake up sobbing. "No, don't worry, I'll clean it. You don't have to do that. I did this mess. Don't worry about it." I cleaned it. Okay, I cleaned it. And then after I went to work, and I was like, wow. Before I started emptying out my stomach, this was pretty nice. So I just kept gardening, and I pretty much enjoyed it. And I don't consume anything else at this point except for gardening and the rare occasion of a drink. And but you know what these are. So maybe eventually I'll show you guys a bing bong tour.
Yeah, that would be fun. And again, I'm a new, bigger piece kind of bongy bongers kind of a person, so I like anything that's just fun looking. So we'll show you a few bongs, being
If we see anything interesting, we'll definitely show you guys before we do anything about it.
Yeah, before la cachada.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so right before we end this, is there anything else you might want to say to the people out there?
Do you believe in aliens?
Cortalo.